Hey, I'm recording this video just to get used to talking on camera. I've never really done a video like this before where I just sit and talk about what's going on in my head, what's going on in my feelings. So it should be interesting, but I feel like throughout my life I've really wanted to become an entrepreneur. Never really liked the idea of college at all. And I never wanted to go to a college, get some degree and work some job I didn't like. So I've always tried to do entrepreneurial entrepreneurial. I've always tried to do these entrepreneurial things that, you know, I had some burst of inspiration from seeing someone else do it, or seeing how much money they made, or seeing whatever life they were living and how their day to day was. So I'd get really into these different things, into video game development, into 3D animation, 2D animation, making beats, making videos, making short form videos. And, none of it really stuck. I got so focused on trying to chase these things for money that I ended up leaving myself with a bunch of dead ends, loose ends, and no actual hobbies I could fall back on. And I had nothing that compounded throughout my life to where I can actually say I have a decent skill. I can tell you I'm intermediate at 20 different art forms, but I can't tell you I'm good enough at one of those to make any money off of it. I feel like I've always had this big pressure over me about what I'm going to do after school, because I know I've hated school, I've hated every job I've had, I've just hated the idea of working somewhere where I didn't like for someone else on someone else's terms and hours. And I just feel and felt like I couldn't do that. So I've just put myself through all these different things trying to find some way out or end some end goal. But like I said, in doing so, I've sort of shot myself right in the foot. And I feel like now I'm closer to running out of time to make my dreams come true than I ever have. And I'm more far from knowing what I want to do. Because before, I would choose things based off like, would this make me a lot of money and if I did this for 5 years? And now I have to think about things, or maybe I don't have to, and this is just my block, but I have to feel like I have to think about things in, will this make me $5,000 a month by, the end of the summer? And I haven't even made $10 online before. And I kind of put these unrealistic expectations and start building things that are just based on money and not based on things I actually like. All the work I've done for online businesses usually feels like such a task, but when I'm in some sort of hobby I like or doing something I do like, it feels like hours just go by without me even thinking about it. I feel like I'm sort of entering a new chapter in my life where it's time to become an adult. It's time to start thinking like an adult and having the discipline of an adult, and just, I'd really like to get things done that I say I'm going to get done. If I say today I want to work for 4 hours on something, and then I want to work out, and then I want to cut my hair, I don't want to end up today, like I am right now, with like 2 hours of some work under my belt, not on something I'm actually going to stick with like everything else, and my hair's not cut, and I'm probably not going to work out today. And, you know, life's life, there's a lot going on right now, but I do want to get to a point where if I say I'm going to do something, I do it. Because I always feel pretty shitty when I say I'm going to do something and I don't do it. And I think changing that would be a huge step in finding my future. Sorry. I have this stink bug that has stayed in my room for years. He just landed on my shoulder. I've never had this thought before, but I'm just now having this thought that maybe it seems obvious to some of you, but I think the way I can achieve my dreams and get to this place where I want to be is through like changing myself first. If I become that version of myself that I want to be, where if I say I'm going to get something done, I do it, I think that'll bring me a lot closer to where I want to be than just saying I'm going to work on this business for hours, or picking 100 different business types and trying every one of them, 7 of them a week, or not even trying them, just being in analysis paralysis for weeks and months on end. I think it's about changing myself that will actually help. And then there still is the problem, the idea that the thing you focus on doing may not be the right thing to make you that money. That's always going to be true. That's not something I can just debunk and say it's part of my thoughts. It's something that is logically true. You can choose something that you love that may be saturated or may not have an audience at all, or the way you want to do it that's true to you is not businesslike. And so many reasons why you may not be able to make the money you want to make. And that sucks. Because if I could say my analysis paralysis was just this one big mental problem, and it was just something I could just throw away, I'd gladly do it. But the fact that it actually is a real functioning problem of, what you may choose may not lead you to where you want to be. And you may actually waste hours doing something that's not right. So these things are true. But I think the thing I don't think about that often is, say you're looking at different YouTube channels to start. Within a niche, which is like whatever you're making content about, there's different ROIs, which just basically means the amount of money you get for ads in that niche. Say if you're in a car niche, you're going to get a lot more money because there's a lot of car advertisers that want to put ads on your video and make money for them and make money for you. But if you're making something, about some niche video game and you're sort of appealing to 15-year-olds, the ads aren't going to like that as much, because how much money do 15-year-olds have, right? Like, not as much. So there is always the problem that the thing you start doing and the thing you do may just not make a lot of money. But I think the one thing I don't take into account is how much easier it will be to do something in a niche that you actually like. Because I know making ebooks, digital products, ebooks about fashion guides could be great for somebody, but to me that only likes expressing fashion in my own way and just on my own, I don't want to share that with people. I mean, maybe I'll talk to my friends about it, but I don't want to make an ebook and act like I know everything about it. I don't want to sell my information about it to other people, and because I feel like I'd be ripping them off. Like, I don't always have the nicest fits. I don't have, reporters coming to me asking how I dress or how I dress this way. I don't want to sell that to people, especially because it's something I love. And I don't want to spend hours cutting out PNGs of different clothes and arranging outfits and putting them on a page of an ebook and then making these YouTube shorts with an AI voice like, if you want to get into this fashion to get more girls, then go buy my ebook. I just don't like that. And that seems obvious that would be hard to do as a business because I don't like it. But for me, it's hard to think that way, because if I did like it, that would be a much better option than a lot of the other stuff I do. Because people want fashion. Digital products have been a thing. You get a lot of traction marketing on YouTube Shorts. But it's just something I don't like doing. If I'm being completely honest, I don't like it. And that's going to make it feel like a total pain in the ass to work on and put my time into. Another thing is thinking about the wasted time. I usually think of wasted time in the sense of starting the wrong business and not making money. But when I actually think about it, wasted time is analysis paralysis, where you make 10 businesses and you quit every one because you're thinking about this. With my analysis paralysis, I waste so much more time than I would waste working on something that won't make it. Because working on something that won't make it, I'll learn something that I can apply to my next thing. There's one reason why this line of thinking isn't so easy, that, well, I could just start things and just go through with them. It's that, being in that state where you're just analyzing and not doing is easy. It's so comfortable just to sit back and be like, oh, I'm trying to start businesses. I'm really thinking about it every single day for hours. I'm trying. But what that trying actually looks like is asking AI what you think you should do, watching YouTube videos of what you think you should do, watching YouTube videos about things people are doing to see if it's a good idea. And I feel like my brain tells me that I am working and progressing, even when that work in progress is actually just comfort and I'm not going anywhere. The farthest I've went with something and the most I've ever learned is when I did this little shorts challenge where I was making videos about something I like, which is Minecraft speedrunning. It's just a video game thing. I was making shorts about creators in that space, and I was clipping their stuff and re-editing it and just figuring out how short form videos work. And I loved it because it was about the thing I loved. And that was great to me. Since then, I said I was going to do all this other stuff, but then I looked at some YouTube videos about how much shorts actually make and how much, how many views I was getting at the time, and if I thought I could even scale it, if I thought I had room to improve, if there was some bottleneck to it. And those things may have been true, but I was getting 2,000 views on every video. In shorts terms, that's not great. But in real life terms, if you could even imagine 2,000 people being in front of you, looking at your artwork, that's brilliant. Even if some of those people are toddlers on their mom's phone, if some of those people are angry grandpas who have nothing better to do and really did not mean to stumble upon your art, you have 2,000 people a day looking at your art. Just the places you'll go is immense. And you're going to grow in that time. I can only imagine if I stuck with that a week ago, I'd have 14,000 more views to my name. Or I'd have some video blow up like one of mine did, and I'd have 40,000 views to my name. I guess that isn't blowing up, but it's still great. And I wish I would stick with things and use that as my way of growth and my way of getting there. I feel like I have to trust the process more to get where I want to go, rather than fighting the process and trying to logic my way into the best business idea. Because often the best business idea is going to be something you hate. And it's going to be something that will never take off. You may quit it in half a year, but more likely you'll quit it in 2 weeks, 1 week, 1 day, 2 days. I know I've quit a lot of things 1 day in after being super excited about it the day before, realizing the work I'd have to put in, realizing I actually don't even like it. But all those things are great business ideas. And, if some people are into that niche, I could probably give them that business idea, and they may be able to take off with it and launch it, and they may love every second of developing the thing they sell or the service or the video. They may love it. But to me, I hated it. And those were all things that in my head felt like the best business idea, the best decision for my time, and then they weren't. They were things that wasted a lot of time and a lot of mental energy on me. I wasted my mental energy on them. I failed without even starting hundreds of times. I guess this video is my way of just getting something out there. I really like talking to myself. I mean, I like talking to other people better, but I feel like I'm a lot better at talking than I am at thinking, which is odd because all my life I've thought I was a thinker. I thought I got my ideas down and my proper feelings down by thinking, but I actually get them down just by talking and rambling about just everything that's been on my mind. I guess I've been conditioned by society. That sounds cliche or weird, but it is true that if you talk all the time and never leave room for other people to talk, you're not going to be liked, and you wouldn't like someone that did the same. So I've kind of conditioned myself to stop talking, to think, to stop talking. And then I started just journaling instead, or just sitting alone with my thoughts, just to think about things and to figure things out, rather than talking. And this is my first time talking in front of a camera, and I feel like I've understood things that I've been trying to understand for a long time. I feel like it's about time to wrap this up. My final thoughts to anybody listening that has the same problem, and I'm going to have to try this too. It's easier said than done. Let go of trying to find the perfect business model that you'll hate, and try to realize and grasp onto the fact that a business model you actually like doing will be perfect and will be the one for you, and will let you put the most work into it and the most thought into it and the most manifestation into it, if you believe in that stuff. If you put two businesses side by side, and one was something optimal, it had the perfect, people were searching for it, the perfect, what is that called, when just the market's unsaturated, people want it, people need it, and you know how. This is the perfect business model, but you may not like it. And then there's this other business model that involves something you love. Now, if you're a logical person, like I am, in your brain you'll be like, okay, this one over here is perfect. Because logically it is. You have just a bunch of people buying from you, you may not have competitors, you know how to do it well, you've just heard about this thing and heard that it works. And it's in some delivery system that is proven, it's optimized, there's all these apps to do it for you. This seems great compared to the one that you like, but all the things are stacked against you. But that's the logical side of it. If you actually think about it, and maybe more emotionally, less logically, but also more logically at the same time, this perfect business is not going to be perfect, because the amount of money you make is based off the amount of work you do and the amount of mental energy and love you put into the thing you're doing. Now, if we said that these are both optimized, like we are putting 8 hours a day in this one versus this one's going to make money. But be logical with yourself and realize that you are not going to put that much time and love and energy into this business model because you hate it, because it feels terrible to do. You'll actually make more money regardless of any other factors by doing something you love. And you may see billionaires who make millions of dollars on soup, and they hate soup. They hate their canned soup product that they make. But that's not you. We're in a different world where we don't have money to start out with. We're building something from the ground up. I guarantee you that billionaire bought the soup company after it was established. I also guarantee you, whatever person who first founded that company and decided they're going to make canned soup or soup in general loves soup. And it was easy for them to start. You gotta love your soup. You gotta love what you do. And I need to realize that. And if you're struggling, I hope you can realize that too. That you gotta find something you love and then work on it. And if you don't have any hobbies right now, other than watching YouTube videos, like me, you should find some hobbies. Even things you aren't thinking about business immediately. Whenever I start a hobby, I immediately think about what money it's going to make me. Sorry. I immediately think about if it's going to make me money. Is this worth it? But that ruins the hobby immediately. You got to get into it, loving it without thinking about money before you can start business, before you can start monetizing it. So I think instead what you should do is just pick a bunch of hobbies you're really interested in them and just do them when you feel like it and just fall in love with some things before you start monetizing. And you may have the stress on your back of wanting to do something, so sure, if you love it immediately, you can start monetizing it. You can start trying. But if you feel resistance on week 1, it's not right. Week 2 of anything, you'll probably feel some resistance and start feeling like it's work. But week 1 should feel pretty good. I mean, you may be a very dopamine addicted person. I feel like I am too. So week 1 may be hard. But you should still feel inspired throughout the entire week 1 and still feel like this is what you want to do. Week 2 is always going to be hard, but if day 1's hard, man, if day 1 of starting your business isn't exciting and fun, I mean, you're cooked. Don't do it. It's like getting into a relationship where your first date feels like shit, right? 6 months into a relationship, you may be fighting, you may have a problem, but if you're 6 months in, your first week probably didn't feel like hell, or else you would have never wanted to be with this person. So do that with your businesses too. If your first week feels like hell, think about what month 6 will feel like, or year 1. Pick something you love doing and do it. And do it to your fullest. And try to do all the things you tell yourself you're going to do. Anyways, I hope anyone that watched through that enjoyed. And if you're struggling with the same thing as me, I hope you find success soon and in a way that feels comfortable and exciting and fun for you. I hope everyone out there succeeds and gets the life they've always dreamed of, because that's really the end goal. Thank you for listening.